In the Montrose area of Houston, good Mexican food isn't hard to find. But one restaurant boasts the most authentic Tex-Mex in the state, from someone who literally wrote the book on it. So this incredible building represents some 150 years, maybe more, of Tex-Mex history. And I'm with a guy that I would say you were probably the foremost expert on Tex-Mex, its origins, what makes it so incredible. Rob Walsh.
I'll probably write more about it. I'm sure there are some Tejanos in the valley who know more about Tex-Mex than I do.
True.
But I'm happy to document Tex-Mex, and that's sort of what I do.
But there's so much history in these four walls that really tell the story. From a rare photo of Pancho Villa to a nostalgic walk through the who's who of Tex-Mex restaurant history. There's even a little Houston pop culture here from Leo's Mexican restaurant on Washington Street.
The inside of the Tres Hombres album for ZZ Top, this was actually photographed in that restaurant. So and then you've got Billy Gibbons, who was nice enough to sign a guitar and donate it to us.
If the marquee out front didn't already tip you off, El Real used to be an old movie theater. So Justin, this is your baby too. I mean, you started from the very beginning and you've watched this building transform. A lot of history here.
It's an older building, at least for Texas. It opened in 1938 as a movie theater and has had a couple of lives since then.
Well, the mezzanine has a pretty cool view because obviously you see the entire place and the giant screen.
Yeah, it's great to people watch and you get to see the screen as well.
And while the ambiance is great, let's be honest, the biggest reason to visit El Real is the food. Rob credits the true Tex-Mex flavors to the famous chili queens of San Antonio.
When the railroads connected San Antonio with Chicago and St. Louis and the rest of the country, tourists who came down to San Antonio wanted to go to the chili queen stands.
They're the first to serve enchiladas with chili con carne on top. And here's a fun fact.
There is no chili con carne in Mexico, particularly because Texas chili is made with chili powder. They don't have chili powder in Mexico. It was actually a knockoff by William Gebhardt, a German immigrant, of European paprika powder.
Really?
Yeah. Some of those toasted chilies.
To get that authentic Tex-Mex flavor, these chili kings grind their own chili powder.
We use mostly anchos, a little bit of pasilla, and you know, it's really pretty simple.
Toasty, yeah. Toasty. A grocery store coffee grinder does the work. So this is the spice you use in your chili. The mother load for the mother sauce of Tex-Mex. All made in-house.
All right, and then we're gonna do a little bit of the refried beans.
Rob's favorite refried beans.
Yeah, Tex-Mex mashed potatoes, right?
Tastes like Tex-Mex.
And that's the way a good cheese enchilada should taste. That's awesome. That gravy's fantastic.
I love it.
The chili powder comes through. You can't go wrong with your choices here. From the cheese enchiladas to the sizzling fajitas.
San Antonio's got chili and puffy tacos and so forth. Austin has breakfast tacos, they're really identified with Austin. Fajitas are really identified with Houston.
El Real does them up right with outside skirt steak.
This is the original fajita.
Grilled fast over a super hot mesquite-fired grill.
You need to go this way, and all of a sudden, the same piece of meat becomes incredibly tender.
What are y'all seasoning this with? This is good.
Seasoning is a deep, dark secret. Soy sauce and pineapple are included.
Really? This is good. Turns out, that's been the basic marinade for Tex-Mex fajitas for years. And when it comes to tacos, El Real looked to the best in the business.
We went and visited Henry's Puffy Tacos in San Antonio because we wanted to model our Puffy Tacos after his because they're so great.
Check out another of my favorites at El Real.
That's directly from my childhood. We didn't have it on the menu when we first opened, but when I was a little kid, I used to enjoy that, going to some of the Mexican restaurants that I went to. And so we had to put it on the menu.
Good old-fashioned Tex-Mex goodness for both young and grown-ups too. An ice-cold margarita. The perfect ending for this walk down Tex-Mex memory lane. Time for my wine finds of the week, and I'm going to take you to Italy, one of my favorite places, and a place I think makes some of the sexiest, most romantic wines on the planet. Is there a more romantic place than Italy? I don't think so. These are some fun wines as well. Up first, a Rosso di Montalcino. Brunello fans, think of this as the Brunello's baby brother. It's made with the same grape varietals, but the grapes just aren't aged as long. But a lot of the same flavor profiles come through. You get the dark cherries, hints of spice, a little bit of vanilla. This is a beautiful wine and it pairs wonderfully with all kinds of roasted meat, even some fish dishes as well. Rosso di Montalcino Col d'Orcia is the brand. All right, up next, Chianti fans. We're still in Tuscany. Just a classic Chianti. This is a wonderful producer. This is the Monsanto Chianti Classico Riserva. And they're a very consistent producer. So vintage to vintage, you know you're going to get a very well-made wine. Chiantis, as you know, pair beautifully with pizza, bright tomato dishes. Think of spaghetti. With acidity, dishes with a lot of acidity go well with a Chianti, and I like this one. It's priced right. Monsanto. Moving on, we're going with a grape you probably haven't seen produced in a while in a big way, and that's Lambrusco. This is Dolce Rosso, not to be confused with the Rosso di Montalcino. The Rossos are totally different. Rosso di Montalcino is in a class all by itself. This was a much lighter wine. This is a wine that you'll serve chilled. It has a little bit of effervescence to it, a lot of bright, sweeter cherries, if you will. So think of it as your sweeter wine alternative, fruitier wine. When it comes to Italian wines, it's a nice little hot weather drinking wine for about $10 a bottle. You can't beat it. And I found these wines at H-E-B. How would you like to win a relaxing weekend for two at the beautiful Houstonian Hotel and Spa? I've got details on how you can do just that when we come back. Who wouldn't love a getaway? An easy, relaxing vacay in your own backyard. Head to Good Taste TV right now and sign up for a chance to win a luxurious weekend at the Houstonian, complete with spa treatments for you and a guest at the beautiful, award-winning Trellis Spa. Next week, it's all about you, oyster fans, at this cool coastal kitchen in Clear Lake. And as always, if you missed anything on the show, you can find it online at goodtaste.tv. And don't forget to set your DVRs. You can do it right now for next week's show. Thanks so much for joining us, everyone. We'll see you next week, and we'll save you an oyster or two. Cheers to good taste.